Missing out on the chance to qualify for the World Cup was a bitter pill to swallow for Nigerians after losing out to DR Congo in last month's decisive African playoff final. However, there have been reports that in a bid to salvage the chances, Nigeria took the qualification battle off the pitch and into the legal arena after formally submitting a complaint to FIFA, alleging that the Democratic Republic of Congo fielded ineligible players in last month's decisive African playoff final. The Nigeria Football Federation claims the Congolese Football Federation committed fraud by selecting players who had recently switched international allegiance despite what it argues are clear restrictions under Congolese nationality law. Joining us on the show to discuss the Super Eagles' chances to qualify is Shehu Dikko, chairman of the National Sports Commission. He would also touch on Super Eagles' preparation ahead of the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations. Good morning, Mr. Dikko. It's great to see you today on the morning show.
Good morning, Ayo. It's my pleasure to be here always.
You're welcome.
Well, Mr. Dikko, you are obviously in the eye of the storm. A number of issues. One, we're told that you are owing Eric Chow 3 months' salaries and bonuses not been paid, even as at this moment. And yet we are already in Fez, Morocco, for AFCON. So can you confirm to us whether all his entitlements have been taken care of or you are guilty as charged? That's one. Number two, Mr. Shehu Odegbami, who is an ace footballer, an icon in this country, says that he has doubts about these Super Eagles because these Super Eagles who are going for AFCON, the same people who were beaten by DRC. You know, what do we expect? So when they start this AFCON campaign, are you optimistic that any miracle can happen as they begin the campaign for a fourth trophy? Mikel Obi also says sports administrators in Nigeria are not serious, that you people are mismanaging the entire process. So, I mean, it's just for you to start by defending yourself on all fronts because Nigerians seem to be disappointed with either what is happening in NSC or NFF.
Well, thank you very much, Doctor. But let me start from the Michel Obi's issue. I don't think he's, at the moment, yes. Over the years, there are a bit complications and deficit here and there. But everybody have agreed that since the coming of the NSC, everything seems to have changed and taken a new trajectory. And the reports we have from the last year, what we have been able to do from the repositioning of the sport, the restructuring of the federations, to so many things, even the competitions that we are doing, and the medals that Nigeria have won by the World Cup qualification, everything have changed drastically. And it is the agreement of the entire stakeholders that things are going on the right way. Yes, we are not perfect. There are things that need to be upgraded, and we are working on that. And we are ensuring that we are putting the necessary building blocks to get that done. So it has been the case for like forever. Everybody will say sports this, sports that. But President Bola and Tinubu, GCFR, have taken the bold decision to say this is the direction we are going. And I can tell you from the numbers that we have today, very soon before the year runs out, we will release the entire context of what has been achieved and what has been done across bodies here. And it's quite unimaginable, I can tell you. So we are getting there. There are things to be corrected. Yes, we can discuss that as we move forward. About the preparations for the, people say we are not, it's football. The last time in the AFCON, we came second. So and now the team, it's the same team that we are taking from the playoffs, and we added, there are additions that were added to the team. And I believe at any time Nigeria is playing the Nations Cup, everybody expects the minimum is semi-final, final, because based on our record. So we are not departing from that. And if we are second the last time, this time around we should try as much as possible to make sure we are first. So that is the vision, that is the objective. And about Eric Shell, I don't know where, you know, when the coach came on board, it was the NSC endorsed it, and it is a contract between the coach and the NFF. NFF is supposed to pay the coach, but because of the situation of the finances with the NFF, the NSC took it upon ourselves to support the NFF to be paying the coach thus far. So we have been doing that. Yeah, there might be delays here and there. There are times the coach is paid advance money for the salaries. There are times that we have delays. So, and I don't think the coach have come to complain openly to anybody that this is that. Media say what they have to say, but at any time we have a competition, these kind of stories come up. If there are monies being owed, I'm sure it will be paid as much as possible, as quickly as possible, and the process is ongoing. And nobody owes any coach or any player or any team deliberately. You know, there are different processes when you come to government. Approving money is a different ball game. Getting the money released is a different ball game. Getting the money to be paid is a different ball game. It's all a different process. At times within this chain of processes, there will be delays here and there. But the president have always been upfront with sports. Whatever is supposed to do is approve it and get it done. But the process might have some delays, which might result in this kind of complaints. So I'm sure whatever it is within the next few days, we support the NFL to make sure everything is sorted as quickly as possible.
All right, so we need to deal with this issue of delay because it's a big problem and poses an embarrassment. I recall during the training session that was boycotted by the Super Eagles in Rabat following this delay. And once the president gave marching orders, miraculously, the money was found to make the payment. I don't know if your salary is delayed, Mr. Dikko, because if the process that ensures that you're paid timely is efficient, how can we employ that process to ensure that the coach is paid on time, Super Eagles players are paid on time? Because we cannot continue to talk about delays. It means that it's an insurmountable problem, which I'm sure you'd agree is not. What can the NFF do better to ensure that we don't have these cases of embarrassment on a consistent basis and also affecting the morale and even perhaps the abilities of the players on the day? And I'd like you to break it down a bit further. This glitch that has been discovered about DRC that could potentially get us to the World Cup, of course, a number of people's hopes might be raised. I don't know to what extent, but what's happening with that? Are we going to the World Cup? Are there chances of Nigeria being represented at the World Cup?
Well, I'm very glad with this your question. I can tell you, that is why I'm telling you things are changing in sport, and that is why we are here. Because we identified that these glitches and delays in sports, releasing money, getting money in time, because sports deals with time. If you are, for example, having a contractor, and you are paying a contractor to do work for you, if you don't pay him, he can stop work until the day you pay him, then he can continue work. So sports funding cannot be treated as such, because if to say we are going to start the AFCON next week, we have a match on 23rd, that match will be played. So sport funding must be aligned with the timing and the requirement and the special nature of sport. So what we did to resolve this issue on a finality is we raised up a memo to Mr. President, and we try to explain the situation and how the special nature of sport it is. And we seek for its approval and directives to be able to change the entire structure and the timing and the sport funding structure and everything like that. First, we said sports, Mr. President now subsequently has approved, as of today, he has approved since November 14, and directed both the Minister of Finance, the Minister of Budget, and the DG Budget that first and foremost, whatever sports needs in a particular year should be captured in the budget. So basically, we have now approval from the President that adequate budget should be put in place for sports. That is one. Secondly, Mr. President now approved that and directed that once the budget is passed by the National Assembly and the day he signs the budget himself, then sports, any money budgeted for sports is due immediately, so that those monies should be pulled aside and put somewhere where it can now be accessed at the time as required by the sporting programs and activities. So this basically have taken sports probably to what we can term the first line charge. This approval and directives has been issued and signed by the President and issued to Minister of Finance, Minister of Budget, and DG Budget as well. And then also, we went through the budget and found out there are places where you see all agencies of government have budgets for sporting activities, including even those agencies that doesn't need sports. So Mr. President now directed that all this funding that has been separated across all agencies, which if you look at it, it's more money, 50 million, 100 million, 200 million, but if you pull it together, it runs to billions, that this money should be pooled together and now augment the funding of sports and put under the National Sports Commission. This is a massive approval for sport. Mr. President believes that now this will change the way sports is funded, and now we'll resolve the issue of these glitches, delays in payment, waiting because the money is available. We can just access it as the time comes. So hopefully, if all the agencies involved comply to this approval by Mr. President, which definitely they have to, then I'm sure by next budget cycle, this thing will change. That is one. On the issue of DR Congo and stuff like that, let me take you back to back in history. In 2017, Nigeria qualified to the World Cup in November 2017 with a match to spare, and we have like 4 points gap between us and the second place. But after some months after we are qualified to the World Cup, we are preparing. We are charged by FIFA for fielding a player who was not supposed to play in the last match we played against Algeria, having 2 yellow cards. And these yellow cards, number one, the first one was in November 2015. The second one happened at the end of the qualifier, 2 years after the prelims and everything. Everybody thought the prelims would not count on that. So Nigeria, even though we are qualified to the World Cup, we are deducted 3 points at that point in time. And if not for the fact that we have been able to have a distance between us and the second place, Nigeria would not have been in the World Cup, 2018 World Cup, because of that mistake. So since that time, Nigeria has been very, very particular about looking at our numbers, and also we look at the numbers of our opponents to see who are they putting in their squads, because it's part of the game. You can see now what happened to South Africa as well. They could have missed this World Cup if not Benin lost to Nigeria, because they are deducted 3 points for fielding an eligible player. So when we saw the squad that were put in place for the playoffs, the squad were named in November 1st. The playoffs were November 13th. We look at the squad of our opponents. We found out from the beginning that even the Congolese have already named players who are nationalities of other countries and have not been cleared by FIFA in their squad. So that is an alarm. So everybody started looking, even though the players are not being played. So this issue did not start because we lost the player. We put an eye on what they are doing. Then we find out a day before the qualifiers, they were getting clearances from FIFA that the players are qualified to play. But if you look back, what gave them the confidence to name a player of another nationality in your squad to play a match 2 weeks after when he's not qualified to play for you until the day before the match to receive the permission? So that is allowed for us. After the qualifiers, yes, we lost, unfortunately. Everybody was angry about it. We are not so losers, but it's part of the rules. We bring in our legal team, we bring in our international lawyers, we look at the legal opinion, we look at the laws, we find out there are some suspicion that some things have not been done right according to the laws of the game and what FIFA says, what FIFA required before you can have an eligible player. They are probably, from what we found out, they have misrepresented their position to FIFA to obtain those clearances, which now have, if that is confirmed to be true, has vitiated all the passport issues and everything and what have you, because the laws in Congo is different, and it's the responsibility of the federation to ensure that you issue your passport in accordance with the law. You can't just issue a passport to somebody and say it's nationality. Otherwise, people will have gone to Brazil and pack everybody and come and give them passports and say, yes, we are giving them passport, they are nationality. No, if the passport is not issued in accordance to the law of that particular country, it vitiates everything. So we now file our complaint to FIFA, and now it's being looked at, and our case is very tight. I think we are very, very tight.
Okay.
But we are not so losers.
Okay.
It's part of the law. Okay. So if you look at it, that's what it is. Let me put it in one context. For example, if now, for example, you come to Nigeria and they give you a passport and they say you are 20 years old, you are going to play at the Under 20 World Cup. Yes, Nigeria say you are 20 years old. But if you play that competition and FIFA found out you have forged your age, they will disqualify the country. The presidents of the country have confirmed that you are 20 years old with the passport. So the law is clear. And
okay, Mr. Dikko.
Finally, just 2 days ago, FIFA now have ruled on the same issue against Malaysia. If you look at it, the same issue, the same characteristics, the same complaint we have against FIFA, because they have procured the passport of their players illegally, and they have been able to represent to FIFA and collect the clearances, and now FIFA have deducted and forfeited all their matches that they play with those players.
Okay, Mr. Dikko, I can see that when you were talking about this story of this FIFA and you trying to get one up against Congo, I can see you were smiling. The other questions, you were not smiling. I can see that smirk in your face. You're happy. Me too, as a Nigerian, I'm happy like you. We are both happy. But is it not an indictment and a shame on us that is only corner, the same national team that was voted the most entertaining team in 1994 World Cup? It's not a shame on us that we are now hoping on the downfall of people to use corner to go to World Cup because of the problems we have. I'll give you an instance.
Well,
I don't know, you need to clarify this. Hang on a minute. You need to clarify this.
Yeah.
In 2018, this was Mikel Obi talking. He said NFF refused to pay us. Players were on my neck, so I bypassed NFF and directly phoned the presidency and later Bakiari. Under 24 hours, there was money brought and all of that. These are the plenty back and forth a lot of people are complaining. I want you to debunk that statement if it's right or wrong as regards that. Also, still part of the problems I keep talking about that now make us rely on corner. I thought they made some promises to players that went to AFCON, that did so well at AFCON, houses and all of that. What's the state of all of that? I'm happy with you that this opportunity has opened because I'm a Nigerian and I want to go to World Cup. We want to go to World Cup. But can't we pinch ourselves because of the shame and say, do we have to now use corner? How would have expected us to beat Congo pure and black, blue and black, go to whatever tournament we're going to go, beat all the teams and qualify for the World Cup straight away? If we get things right.
Well, Rufai, it is not corner, as you said. It's part of the game. It's part of the rules. If you made an error, it's part of the law. Law is law. You can't breach a law and say, because your opponent is bigger than you, then you cheated, for example. Okay, let's not complain. No, it doesn't work like that. Law is law. It is actually us, Nigeria, who are playing by the book. Anybody who breached the law should be able to be sanctioned appropriately as the law states. Let me tell you, when we are going to play the last playoff match against Congo, we had doubts whether indeed is qualified to play or not. We have to write to CAF. We insisted we have to write to CAF and get a letter. And FIFA now, yes, his yellow card has been voided. He can play, and he played. So we are following by the rules. It doesn't mean by corner. And then this issue about the qualification, you should at least give us some credit, for example, for what you do about the National Sports Commission. When we came on board, for example, the World Cup situation is already almost lost. But we decided to pull together with the NFF, with all stakeholders, and the president provided all the support. We were 3 points out of 12, but we are able to recover, and we will have almost qualified to the World Cup if not for one or two things, for example, the draw against South Africa and South Africa. So we are almost there, and we are able to get to the playoffs, and at the end of the day, it is football. You can't, at times, luck might run out of you. You cannot be able to do anything about it. Ghana are not at the AFCON now today, but they are at the World Cup. So you can see how football at times we give you this. But we are trying to follow the rules and the law. And we have already put the World Cup behind us. Our focus now is the AFCON, as the President have said. But if there is a loophole to challenge certain results,
the two other questions I asked.
But we are not doing it because we want to bring...
No, the two other questions. I asked real quickly. Number one, Mikel Obi, and the next one is, I thought they promised the AFCON, the people that did well in AFCON last time around, I think they promised them houses, and where's the state of all of that? Are they giving them the homes and all of that?
Yeah. Mikel Obi is, I don't know where Mikel Obi is getting that story. Sorry. It's like he's getting his memory mixed up. It was in 2014 World Cup, where there was a strike by the players in Brazil, where money had to be flew in by the private jet by Goodluck Jonathan to Brazil, and the players were paid, and blah, blah, and they were paid. And even that money the players were fighting about in 2014 was some money being owed. They want to be paid ahead their promised share of the monies for the World Cup, which NFF at that time have not received. I was involved, I was there at that time, I know what happened, I was with the players. So it was 2014 that happened. In 2018, we had one of the best World Cup preparations. It's a record. I was part of the system then. I was involved. We played the best friendly matches. The players were best ever money. In fact, because of that issue of 2014, where the players asked money advance from FIFA money, in 2018 World Cup, what we did then with Amaji Pinnick is to ask FIFA to give an advance money from that World Cup, which they now decided to give all the African teams, $2 million. And the players were paid $2 million advance ahead of time, cash. to share. The players are there. You can call them. Call Ahmed Musa. You call other. So Mikel is mixing up his own whatever it is. Even at the World Cup, I handed money cash to Mikel Obi when Salaki came and gave money myself. At that time, 2018 World Cup. I think he got it mixed up. It was 2018 that happened, not 20. I mean,
okay,
20,
so it happened actually in 2014. So that means Mikel, it happened in 2014. It truly happened. So he was correct, but he just got the dates wrong.
Yeah, it happened in 2014, but no, but not 2018. He said 2018 World Cup. He has to call Buhari. Buhari, it was Goodluck Jonathan who was the president then, who also was very, very pragmatic. And immediately the issue came, Goodluck Jonathan bring out the money cash and say, go and give the plane and put a plane to Brazil, and the money was paid. And I can tell you, that money was not money owed. Nigeria were to get $8 million after the World Cup. The players were supposed to get 30%, and they demanded for the 30% upfront before the World Cup even finished. Normally, FIFA pays this money ahead of time after the World Cup when everything is settled. They pay the countries, then you pay the players. So that
the houses of the players, that went to AFCON, quickly.
Then,
the house of the players that went to AFCON.
Then the houses of the players, I can tell you, Mr. President has already approved those houses and the land for the Super Eagles and the national awards and the monies for the Falcons and what have you. And all that has been processed. As I speak to you now, I have in my possession all the CF4 title documents for the houses of the players, the ones that went in Lagos, the ones that went in Abuja, for both the Super Eagles, the Falcons, and the Tigers. I have them with me to the houses. And the land, Wike has already finished possessing the lands. I'm sure we get it anytime soon for the land for Abuja. National award, I have all their certificates for their own national awards for the players, for the Super Eagles, the Tigers, and the Falcons.
Okay.
For the money, it has been processed by the finance. It's already at the payment point at the Accountant General office. So by tomorrow, when we go to Morocco, we are going to hand over the physical certificate of occupancy for all the players. And this is a record time. The last time this was done, the players got their houses 20 years after. At least we are able to deliver this within 1 year plus or less than 1 year for all the players.
Kudos on that.
Mr. Dikko, just a clarification before you go. Your working relationship with Ibrahim Gusau, the NFF president. Some people say that you upstage the NFF president, but I try to defend you. I say, well, you are in charge of the Sports Commission. The Ministry of Sports having been scrapped, you are like at the ministerial level. But you know Ibrahim Gusau was a rival over the position of NFF president, I think 2022 and thereafter. But what level of working relationship do you have? Synergy, collaboration, so that this is not part of the problem that we are, perceiving coming from the House of Football.
No. There's nothing like that, Dr. Abachi. Ibrahim Gusau is not my rival. He's my colleague at the NFF. He actually, when we were at the NFF, I was the vice president. He was a floor member. So we are colleagues. We are together. We work together, and we have a very good working relationship, not just with the NFF, across all the federations. If you recall, the first time we assumed duty, myself and my DG, or Bukola Olapade, we told everybody that we are going to have a new working relationship with all the sporting federations because we believe they are our operating officers. If they succeed, we succeed. If they fail, we fail. So it has been, go and ask any federation in Nigeria, not just the NFL. They have never received the kind of support and backing they have received under this Sport Commission. Like for the NFL, we work very, very closely. It's people that are trying, because in those days, you get the point, when they have a minister who's not part of the system, he doesn't understand anybody, then people will go and pitch him against the NFF, pitch him against the basketball, against everybody. But myself and the DG, we are all from the system, so we know everything. Nobody will come and deceive us. That's why you have never had any single problem with any federation with us. We are all working on the same page. And I can boast here to tell you, go and ask the NFF. The NFF have never received the kind of support. I've been there for 8 years, that we have given them within now we have the commission. Between March and today, the NFC supported the NFL with over 6 billion naira to prosecute the qualifiers. Every March we make sure we make some money available for them. Even if the money might not be enough for their budget, but not less than 1 billion naira we give them for each window because we want them to succeed. We now have also sponsors and partners behind the scene who are also supporting across the board and supporting the NFF. So everything is perfect, and we are all collaborating together, working as one family, because the objective is one. If they fail, we fail. If they succeed, we succeed. So nobody will come and in between us and say this and that and that. That is the reason why we had the federation elections, for example. Look at the caliber of people that came to say they want to be president of federations, because they see a different shift from what is happening before. We have, for example, the Minister of Finance, Coordinating Minister of the Economy, coming to be president of Basketball Federation. We have the Controller General of Custom coming to be the president of wrestling. We have the Senator Lankombo taking chase. We have Senator Obina Oba taking traditional sports. People are, even yesterday I received a letter from a permanent secretary in the federal government asking to be nominated into a federation as a floor member, because they have seen a paradigm shift from the way the NSC and the federations are working. They are part of us. That's why since we came in, there's no crisis anywhere, because we know the game, we know what is at stake, we know what we have to do. And we give every federation the maximum support that they need for them to succeed. If they succeed, Nigeria succeed. The NSC succeed. Now the NFF, if they fail, we fail. So we are good enough with that.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Shehu Dikko, for joining us on the morning show. Thank you very much indeed.